This is the festive period, and one commodity that is always expensive this festive period is onions. Onions every year, back to back. There is no how you want to do it. Onions is always expensive. Tomatoes, we can actually beat tomatoes somehow, somehow, somehow. But onions, onions. So I got 4 pieces of onions for 500 naira. Four, just 4 pieces. Normally that the 500 onions will give me big basket. So why is this? This is because onions is actually very cheap from January till April. The basket you get for 120,000 naira or 150,000 naira in December is the same basket you get for maybe 10,000 naira in January, February, March. So what is the problem? The problem is onions is only surplus January to March, and most people cannot store it. Okay, so it's kind of very low in supply throughout the year. After that time that it is surplus, let me try and break it down. So a commodity is very surplus January to March. We do storage, we try to store so that when it's out, the season is out, we can still have enough. But most people don't really know how to store onions, and by December the onions that the people that have stored little can store, they've exhausted it to finish eating it. So the little that is remaining is what we manage for December, November, December, before the new onions comes out again. And because it's now low in supply and high in demand, the price goes up. I don't know if I'm a good teacher with what I just said, but I hope you understand it. Yes, that is why every single December or every single end of the year, onions is always very expensive. You see that the onions that is very expensive now from January to March, you see that it will be very, very cheap. So how do you tap into this onions business? There are different ways you can do this onions business. And the first way is you can decide to buy in bulk and redistribute in your location. There's a lady in my location that I know that sell onions. When onions was really cheap, she used to sell like how many 12 for 500 naira, but now that it's expensive, she does not even have any onions to sell. So it's a business that you can start. Get it from where it is very cheap or any open market. You get it, you start redistributing it in your location. Now let me quickly go into the storage aspect. Another thing you can do is you can buy and store. Yes, which is the storage aspect. You can buy and store. So from January to March that we are entering now, onions will be cheap. What do? Go to farm market, open market, buy enough and store. Now there's a hack in storing onions because onions does not want heat. Any little heat onions get, it gets bad, and that is why most time they really sun dry it during the harmattan period. If you are getting it in January, February, March, which is the dry season, you can sun dry it a whole lot. Then you bag it. We have this bean bag that we used to bag onions. You bag it, and once in a while you open it to fresh air so that it will not get moist. Do you understand? So that's the first way. You buy and store, then resell. You don't need to store it for long. You resell. The next one is you can, that's the agribusiness aspect of it. You can go to the market, your open market. Okay, for me now that I stay in a location whereby onions is very expensive, but if I go to my local market or my big market like my self market, I will get it cheap. I can decide to start the agribusiness, go to my self market, get onions when it's cheap, bring it to my location and start reselling it. That is another business. That's another way you can go into onions business. But one thing you need to understand in onions businesses and why it's a delicate business and why people don't really go into it is because it's the logistic aspect. The logistic aspect of onions is very, very delicate. Very, very delicate. You know, if you are moving it in bulk, the heat might affect most of your onions, and so that's another thing you need to look out for. Is that you transport it in maybe bags that air can enter. You guys know that bag we used to bag beans, that bag, or all these Hausa, what do they call it, with baskets or so. There's a way they transport it, but you just need to understand that the logistics is the problem. So you need to really work on your logistics. Onions does not need you to jam pack it at all. So yes, that is it for onions business. I just said I should bring it to the channel. Onions is cheap January to March. For those that will be in the agribusiness class, don't worry, I have you guys covered. I have a lot of business that I'll be exposing to you people in the class. So if you're interested in joining, please join. Please join, because Like you guys know, everything is seasonal. Once it's coming, we are doing it. And another thing is, last year I helped people to store. I don't know if I'm able to store this year. We are going to find out in the agribusiness class. So use the link in the description box to join the class if you are interested. I'm going to see you in the next video.